never dreaming that I would be up here. First of all, I want to thank the board for considering my nomination and honoring me with this award. This campus became a second home to our family. Our oldest daughter, Whitney, started first grade here in 1989. Kendall followed for kindergarten in 1990, Shane in 1992, and Taylor in 1995. All three of the girls went to Sacred Heart Academy, graduating in 01, 03, and 08. When I thought about that, I was like, wow, that's 19 years on this campus. No wonder it felt like a second home. It would take me all day to tell you about the great memories I have here at Sacred Heart Model School, so I'll just share a few. I think maybe Eleanor touched on a couple of them. When we first started here, there were no athletic teams. Anybody who knows our family knows that we're all about sports. So when they started considering starting some sport teams, I pushed very hard. And yes, I did start the swim team and the tennis team. I was successful in getting those kids to believe in themselves. Our swim team was really small in numbers compared to a lot of the other schools. But we did some great things. Like Eleanor said, we set some records, and those records held for a very long time. In fact, some of them might still be holding today. Our tennis team, after just a year or two, was runner-up in the Catholic grade school league, and I am proud to say that we had 3 individual champions in the championships. I'm also proud to say that some of those things were accomplished by my children. I can't say enough about the great teachers that our children were fortunate enough to have. Miss O'Connell, Miss Goyette, Miss Bondahar, Miss Hanson, Mrs. Bolt, Mrs. Ewell, Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Myros. Miss Hanson, she knew that it was a given, like Eleanor said, that every summer we'd be taking home some animals, because my kids volunteered that we'd be taking home animals every single time. When I was writing this, I could almost smell the aroma from those rabbits and gerbils and mice. Mrs. Smith was such an awesome art teacher that, like Eleanor also said, to this day, I still have a lot of the kids' artwork framed and hanging in one of our family rooms. Mrs. Myros had Whitney do a project, which is one of the long-range projects of our family tree. She taught me. It was so exciting to learn right along with Whitney about both sides of our families. It was about 500 pages, and I am happy to say that I have passed it along to a lot of members in our family. So I thank Mrs. Myros for making Whitney do our family tree. When someone ends up teaching 3 or 4 of your children from the same family, they get to know that family very well. And I felt that we were fortunate and developed a special bond with quite a few of these teachers. Those bonds were more than just teaching academics, though. While we were at Sacred Heart Model School, Whitney and Kendall both had very serious health issues. The teachers and the staff were extremely thoughtful and supportive during those 2 stressful times, and I will never forget that. I cherish the many relationships that I've developed with other parents while at the model school, all because of our children. I attained some lifelong friends from that, like the Clemens, the Callies, the Camposanos, the Issings, the Ebrons, just to name a few. The plays, the science projects, the midterms and finals, the long-range projects, the speeches. Sometimes, even as an adult, I wondered, is it too much for the kids? But that question was answered when each and every one of our children came home their first week of high school and said, "Mom, Dad, thank you so much for sending me to Sacred Heart Model School. I am so well prepared for high school and beyond." Kevin and I have discussed many times how we were so fortunate to have been able to give our children their educational start at Sacred Heart Model School. We feel it's the best gift that we have ever given them. They have all 4 grown up to be great, productive adults, and we give a lot of that credit to Sacred Heart Model School. Yes, I volunteered for coaching, team room, homeroom parent, field trips, phone-a-thons, committees, interlude, da-da-da. I did that because I wanted to be the best mom I could, and also because I wanted to be just a small part of such an amazing school. And I thank Sacred Heart Model School for letting me do that. I am sure that there are plenty of other parents who should and could have won this award. But today, I am very